If you've never heard of Dishonored, then you're hearing it from me now. If you've already heard of Dishonored, then you're hearing it from me again. If I had $1 for every time I've played Dishonored, I would have $3. Fuck off. Of course I haven't played it just for like 3 times. I've played a lot, ever since it released. Okay, maybe not ever since it released, but I was considerably younger then. But now that I'm an adult and oldish, I can say it's still gosh darn amazing. I've completed it more times than I can count. Every single thing about the game is perfect.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything.
Now, of course, I don't mean that like literally. I mean, the game has bugs and glitches and some flaws that are typical for a game of its age, but for a game of its age, this aged like fine wine. There's only a handful of games that still shine despite their age. And this game, despite being a decade and 2 years old as of today, July 15th of the year 2024, it's perfect. It's the old, classic Dodge Charger that everyone fancies and wants to take from John Wick. This game aged like fine wine. So, what the hell is Dishonored anyway? In a nutshell, you have to go through lots of hoops and obstacles and learn new magical stuff and all that to prove your innocence. As a new player, you might end up killing a lot of people, maybe even everyone. But for the pacifists out there, you can choose not to. Everybody's happy. But that shit is boring. Kill everyone.
I'll kill them all.
Or not. It depends on you entirely. But I do endorse killing everyone. In Dishonored, I mean. It's a fun experience, trust me. It's just kind of ironic though. You know, you have to kill lots of people to prove your innocence. It's funny, and it's weird, but it's also funny. Mostly funny than weird. But seriously, Dishonored is a bit tough to describe, but it's not tough to describe because it's messy. It's tough to describe because it does things in ways that you wouldn't expect. It's tough to describe it because the moment you think it does one thing good, you realize it does another thing better. And then when you do accept that it does that one thing better, you realize that it also does the other thing better. It's a clusterfuck, it's a mindfuck. The whole game is a mindfuck. Simply put though, the game is primarily a first-person stealth action game. Stealth is completely optional. And there are also puzzle-solving bits here and there, and it's also an adventure game, so you get a lot of things in one package. There are also multiple paths to approach an objective. Those multiple paths to approach a specific objective also vary. You can possess a rat to go through drainage thingies or something like vents, I guess is the best way I can describe it. Or you can possess an enemy character to go through certain blocks in the game that wouldn't normally let you, the player character, in, or would immediately kill your character. If not that, you can choose to go a different route, maybe go in guns blazing or sabotage different mechanisms, or you can, choose a different route. And by that I mean go a different, pathway. You might be mistaken to think that this is just a purely linear game, but the thing is, every level in Dishonored is an open world itself. I don't mean that literally or objectively. Subjectively, personally, I think every level in Dishonored is open world. It's got a lot of opportunities. You're still confined to a space or level or area, but the things you can discover and see and all the opportunities that you can get are scattered all over the levels, and it is up to you to find those opportunities and secrets and use them to your advantage. In a similar vein, there are multiple ways to achieve different endings in the game. Yes, different endings. Hooray. I'm not gonna spoil the endings and all that, but the game was designed enough to take into account who you kill, what you do, and how you approach things, and then add all of that to give you a specific ending. To avoid any spoilers, I'm not going to get into any of that. Your options are practically limitless. This game gives you the flexibility to try out different options and approaches, go lethal or go stealthy, just as I have said previously. And the combat is fun, but it's nothing special. Yeah, just it's combat, I guess. You can upgrade your powers and equipment as well, and the levels in the world subsequently were designed in such a way that side quests during main levels often take up a lot of my time, and I forget that I was doing the main story. That's not to say like that the side quests are unnecessary, but they do add more depth into the already deep lore. As for the story, well, it's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, really, it isn't bad by any metric. It's got its twist to it, but the DLCs are extremely helpful to add that extra complexity and context to the base game's story. Now, the art style and world aesthetic and atmosphere are interesting. Just the way the levels were designed and even the architecture and designs of the buildings are simply awesome. It's just the way the game was styled. It might be weird, but somehow I consider the Hound Pit's pub the player's home base per se. I consider it to be some sort of home to me now. It's got that cozy feel to it. Difficulty wise, you can set it to, the usual options: easy, normal, all that stuff. Make it as easy or as challenging as you want it to, basically. How you set up your game is what makes the game fun. And it makes it way too fun, especially for me. But it might make it fun. Well, I mean, it definitely will make it fun for you as a new player. I mean, coming back to this game after years of not playing it, I still think that it's really fun. I might be just, looking at this game through rose-tinted glasses, but I think it's really, really fun, and I think it deserves more attention than it got, It's never lost its charm. The game is, it's a bit short, but that should not be a problem considering that you can replay the game and do different things. The gameplay is replayable. Yeah, I mean that, the game is highly replayable. There's a lot of replayability to it. Now the graphics, they aren't the best, especially for today's standard, but honestly, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, especially since the game is stylized after all. And lastly, the music for this game. Daniel Licht, may he rest in peace, and John Licht composed the music for this game, and the developers could not have chosen a better duo to hire. The music in this game is phenomenal, and it's heavy. There is a burden on you when you listen to it. It just weighs in on you, and it stays until you forget about it. It's not something that you listen to normally though, but when you listen to it, you feel it deep inside of you. So, do I think this is all worth it? For today, 2024? Is it still worth playing? Fuck yeah. Yeah. I couldn't even wait for a sale. I would not wait for a sale. I just buy it immediately. It's a fun game, I promise you, and it's an interesting one at that. So just get it, man. Just buy it. There's really you're not gonna lose anything apart from time, because the game is somewhat addicting, at least for me. But I mean, again, maybe it's just the nostalgia, but just give it a try. Dishonored is a really, really, really fun game, and I think everyone who's gonna touch it will enjoy it. They might not like the game itself, but they'll find themselves enjoying it. You might be in the same boat as I am, and you'll find it to be amusing and enjoyable rather, sorry. Anyway, I have rambled on too long. I'm not gonna take up much of your time. Thanks for listening to this really half-assed rant about the game. It's just an honest review or whatever. But if you're still listening, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Maybe leave a comment, suggesting more games that you want me to cover, or things like that. Or if you have any opinions to share on Dishonored, anything is welcome. So, have a good day.